Hi guys, Jack Rogers here and welcome to another Facebook Ads Mastery lesson. So in this video, we are going to be talking about frequency, what it is, what you want to look for in your different campaign structures, and most importantly, what it is. So we'll jump straight into what frequency is. And frequency is essentially the number of times that somebody will see your ad. So we can break that down into campaigns, ad sets and ads. So when we look at it on an ad level, if your frequency is say 1.5, it means on average somebody has seen your ad 1.5 times. And if we go back to the campaign level, if your campaign is on a frequency of say 3, that means that on average somebody has seen a variety of different ads in that campaign 3 times. Now, one thing that we want to sort of touch up on and we're going to go into is top of funnel frequency, and we're going to go middle and bottom of frequency, just because we're essentially going to be looking at slightly different numbers across the board, right? So my top of funnel frequency. So top of funnel, as we've recorded in previous training videos, is the number of times that somebody sees our ad. So in a top of funnel campaign, and one thing we're going to be really talking about here is at an ad level, so individual ad frequency, is we don't want top of funnel individual ads to have a frequency of above 2. So if a top of funnel ad has a frequency of above 2, one thing that we start to see is creative fatigue. And it essentially means that that ad's performance is going to start hindering, and as a result, our cost per result is going to start increasing. Now, one question that I get asked all of the time around frequency for a top of funnel audience is, Jack, I'm using Advantage Plus Audience. So there's no detailed targeting. I'm targeting the whole of the United States. I've got an audience size of 250 million. And my frequency is sitting at over 2 for each individual ad. How can I bring that down? Now, the best way to bring your frequency down when we're doing a top of funnel audience is to broaden out the creatives we use. So one thing we want to bear in mind when we have our funnel, and I have touched upon this in another training video, is you'll have people who are receptive to videos. You'll have people who are receptive to carousels and people who are receptive to static images. And what I mean by receptive is they commonly perform actions based on these different types, right? So if somebody commonly purchases or commonly becomes a lead off of video ads, Facebook will show them more video ads, right? The algorithm is smart enough to do so. So one thing that we want to sort of bear in mind in our top of funnel campaign, if our frequency is quite high, we want to make sure that we're using a big variety of creators, right? Because let's say we only use videos. The problem with that is we essentially isolate 2/3 of our audience. So all of our spend just gets hit to this smaller audience, which as a result drives our frequency much higher, and it drives it up. So when we start running into frequency issues for our top of funnel audience, we then want to make sure that we're broadening out our creative types. The other problem that we can run into with our top of funnel frequency is our messaging and our offer. So if we build out the funnel like this, what we essentially have is we have our high intent audience, we have our medium intent audience, and we have our low intent audience, right? So Facebook is naturally going to target this audience first, right? Because this is the audience that's going to generate us the best possible result. And the further we go up, the less likely these people are to actually convert. So introducing a really strong offer, like if you're a lead gen company, can we do a guarantee? If we're an e-com, can we do some form of discount? Can we potentially look at leveraging a loss leader? So we have like maybe if you'll say skincare, can we have like a sample kit, which once somebody purchases, we can then retarget them. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to target this audience here and this audience here, which is also going going to drive our frequency down. Now, going on to the top of funnel, going on to the middle and bottom of funnel campaign, should I say. So middle and bottom of funnel is essentially our retargeting campaign. So in here, we have website visitors, Instagram engagers, video through plays, so on and so forth. Any email lists you've got of like maybe some email subscribers, for example. Now, if we have the right messaging in this campaign, and what I mean by the right messaging is if we have ads that sort of like explain how it works, if it's quite an intricate, unique product, if we have ads that overcome objections, if we had ads that mitigate risk, let me just make this slightly smaller, I don't actually mind a frequency between 4 to 9. Now, this is all obviously extremely subjective. Now, if you're in a retargeting campaign and your frequency is sitting at 7 and you've got no purchases, that's an indication that the messaging that we've got here, or here just doesn't resonate with our audience, which means we need to change the ads up. But I've gone into accounts time and time again, and for their retargeting, they'll be sitting at a frequency of around 2, or if not even maybe lower, like 1 point something. And they're not generating the best results. And what I will actually tell them to do is scale up the spend. And the reason behind that is if we draw this out like a table, we can essentially say that people don't purchase because they don't trust us. Now, trust categorizes into several different things. They don't trust the product. They don't think it's going to work for them. They don't trust so we can put P for product. They don't trust the brand. Right? So that's why the explain how it works, and the sort of testimonials, case studies, like potential before and afters, depending on the niche, can work quite well. The next one is objections, right? And again, this can be categorized into several different things. I'm not going to dive into objections because I do cover it in the retargeting campaign structure, but you want to really dive into the key reasons why somebody wouldn't purchase. For example, do you have shipping costs? Maybe you do. If you do, I'd potentially have an ad where we run it free shipping. Sorry about that. Where we run free shipping. The next possibility is it a price objection? Is it too expensive? So on and so forth. You really want to dive into those reasons. The last one is the risk aspect, right? So somebody might see this top of funnel ad on a Monday. They might see our objection ad on, say, a Wednesday. They might see the risk reversal ad on a Thursday. This is all hypothetical, right? So they might purchase here. We'll put a big P for purchase. But them seeing the objection ads and the trust ads has influenced their decision-making process, which is why I don't mind a higher frequency for my retargeting. So in terms of sort of budget allocation for your retargeting, I would personally be doing sort of 20% of your daily ad spend for that campaign. So I hope all that makes sense. Any questions, any concerns, as usual, pop them in the school community and a member of the Heath Media team will get back to you as soon as they can.